Good afternoon, everybody. This is an extraordinary situation, and thus I felt it important, and my colleagues felt it important, that a number of us sit together because we are one and we are a team, and we express our anger and our revulsion at today's events. We recognize that under the law, anybody accused of a crime is considered innocent unless and until proven guilty. And yet this indictment is sickening. As such, consistent with the actions we have taken in other situations, I want to, on behalf of my colleagues today, call on Senator Yee to resign. Leave. Don't burden your colleagues and this great institution with your troubles. Leave. Absent that, we are prepared to go to the floor immediately and suspend him. And we will do so if necessary. We will also immediately remove him, of course, from his committee chairmanship and all of his committee assignments. Again, we recognize that someone is not considered guilty, is innocent until proven guilty, but these allegations are serious. They involve gun running and things that, frankly, are surreal. The indictment itself is shocking and surreal. I am angry. I'm angry on behalf of the people, and I'm angry on behalf of the 37 other members whose hard work every day on behalf of the people is being tarnished because of events outside of their control and outside of our control. None of us here in the Senate elect the specific members who come here. These events are outside of our control. And the early reading of the indictment suggests that most of this took place unrelated to the legislature. I know what people are thinking. This is the third incident that the Senate itself has had to deal with over the last 6 months. And I recognize that people are going to come to their own conclusions, but I want to say this. We have two choices here. We can either lay our heads down or we can hold our heads high. And all of us here, the hardworking men and women who are sitting here today, intend to hold our heads high because we are going to do everything in our power to uphold the integrity of the Senate and to do the people's business, and yes, to still have a great and productive year. The irony of these events over the last 6 months is as follows. The last 3 years in this legislature have been among the most productive and successful years in the modern legislative era. You look at the record and what we've gotten done, having helped steer this state from the abyss of unemployment and budget deficits to a multi-billion-dollar budget surplus, and all of the achievements along the way. And I know that that's not what will be written about today, and I understand that. That's the irony of today. So we're not going to take any of it lying down. We're going to hold our heads high. We're going to demand that Leland Yee, yes, innocent unless proven guilty, leaves the Senate and leaves it now. And then we're going to go on with our work. I love this institution. This is my 8th and final year. I'm proud of the people I serve with. And I'm proud of the work that we do. And I want you to hear from them. Because there's pain here today. There's pain here today because good people and a great institution are being harmed. and is not right. Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. As you can imagine, we are completely shocked. We are devastated with the allegations in the indictment, and we're deeply pained. This is an institution that we all love and that we care about deeply. And each and every one of us who's present today and those who couldn't make it feel deeply privileged and honored and humbled to have an opportunity to work in this amazing institution. To come up to Sacramento every single day of the week and to work tirelessly to further improve the human condition for our constituents, regardless of ideology and political party, regardless of policy differences, makes a profound difference in the daily lives of ordinary Californians. And the fact that, again, to underscore and emphasize that we've had another individual, another senator who's been indicted with some very serious charges, deeply serious and deeply troubling charges. I want to add my words to our Senate Pro Tem, Steinberg, because let me underscore and let me emphasize, this legislative body, specifically the Senate, has moved forward some of the most groundbreaking policy measures in the last few decades, in a generation. And it's very difficult, given the circumstances, sometimes to weigh these types of charges that always see the front news, the front lines, the front pages, and good public policy. I know it's very difficult in today's news media cycles, but we are very proud of what we do. We all love this institution. I, like Darrell Steinberg, care deeply about the members who serve this institution and the members who will serve this institution, but we're absolutely shocked. And be very clear about one thing. These allegations are not a reflection of the working men and women of this Senate or the staff of this Senate and this institution. These individuals who are here today, united, whites, Jews, Asian Americans, Latinos, African American, women, men, we come up here every single day united to do the right thing for the people. It's a deep privilege to serve this institution. Again, Senator Leland Yee, or for that matter, the two other individuals in question, senators, right now, their actions, or lack thereof, are not a reflection of this great institution. We will move forward. We will keep our head up high with grace and dignity. We will continue to serve the people of the state of California the best way we know that we can.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Kevin De Leon. Senator Leno?
So I'm here to join with my colleagues to express my and our frustration and our disappointment on behalf of our constituents. And we're offended because we're here every day to do an honest day's work. And it's a privilege to be able to do this work. And with privilege comes responsibility. And it is by the support of those who elected us that we are here, and it is to them that we are responsible and should be held accountable. Yes, innocent until proven guilty, but every indictment, every arrest, every arraignment, even every suspicion or allegation reflects very poorly upon each of us and all of us. So it is our good fortune that the leader of this House is an example of a pillar of integrity. Darrell Steinberg sets a tone. We all respond to that. And what this colleague has done will be tried in a court of law. But it should not reflect upon the great work that my colleagues do every day on behalf of their constituents, my constituents, and all of Californians, and whether the issue is affordable housing or renewable energy or income inequality, whatever it is we're working on. these incidents are only a distraction, and we want to get back to work.
Senator Hancock?
Thank you.
Senator Leonard.
Well, I could not agree more with my colleagues. You know, it hurts us all when the public trust is abused. And we are reeling from reading the little bit of the indictment in real time, just like all of you are, some of the details in it. Let me say, I've served in this legislature for over a decade. This is an anomaly. This is different. I was shocked, like my colleagues were, to hear about Senator Yee's arrest and arraignment. We have been all focused on facing the challenges and issues and doing the work that the people of California want us to do. And also, I have to say, I am glad that law enforcement is doing its job. We need to continue doing our job. And I think that under the leadership of Senator Steinberg, we've taken on a lot of big issues this year, and we need to see those issues through and see them through with integrity, and we intend to do that.
Thank you, Senator Hancock. Senator Block, I know wanted to go around to anybody else.
Yeah, I'll be very brief, and I want to thank the leadership of this Senate for their work under fire. This has been a tough year, and Darrell Steinberg has been a true leader, and Kevin DeLeon, who's moving into that position. I don't envy the position, but I'm sure you will be up to that task too. But my only comment, and then this is to be perfectly clear for everybody, the three senators who have been charged, in some cases tried, they will never set foot on the Senate floor again unless or until they are acquitted. Again, be clear, they will not set foot on the Senate floor again unless or until they are acquitted. And that's no question.
Thank you, Mark. I want to thank you for saying that, Senator Block. Let me say it again, although quote him, Mark, he said it first, but that's absolutely correct. Let me be clear in terms of what we intend to do with regard to Senator Yee and the other two individuals. They will not come back to the Senate, period, unless and until they are acquitted of charges, period. We'll go with whatever number we need to, that we need to go with as a majority party. Less important than what you're hearing today. Anybody else want to make a comment? Then we'd be glad to stand for a few questions. I'm going to tell you right off the top, in terms of the specifics of the allegations themselves. Like Senator Hancock said a moment ago, we are reading them and trying to understand them in real time, just as you are. So I don't have a comment on the specifics, and I don't think my colleagues do as well, but we'd be happy to answer a few questions.
You did just mention the gun running bill. Can you respond at this point to the fact that when you were pushing through gun control measures, making that a main priority, one of the lawmakers who introduced a couple of those bills is allegedly having conversations about importing automatic weapons from Russia and the Philippines?
It's an appalling allegation. It's an appalling allegation.
Senator, do you know if other members of your body are being investigated?
No, nobody else is being investigated.
I have a question.
Do you guys know, I'm sorry, do you guys know, like, having known Senator Yee, he's been in the Assembly, the Senate for a long time. Just tell me, how, are you guys shocked? Like, what was your personal reaction when you found that out?
I'm shocked. I mean, we're all shocked. I mean, it's the word I used earlier is surreal. It's anytime one of your colleagues, but more significantly that the nature of these allegations, gun running. I mean, it's a bad movie. It is shocking, and that's all we can say, right? And it's not just the words. I hope it's written all over our faces here and our postures, because that's what we feel.
Let me add one thing too, because the word shock perhaps is an understatement for many of our colleagues here today, because given the fact that a handful of us have moved forward measures, Pro Tem and I, Senator Mark Leno and Senator Lonnie Hancock, We have moved measures with regards to high-powered assault weapons, ammunition, long guns, handguns, magazines. That this does sound like a Hollywood, out of a Hollywood script. And if in fact these allegations in the indictment are accurate, we're completely devastated. Complete devastation, because, you know, we're human beings. We're senators, we're human beings like everyone else. When you wake up in the morning and you hear that he's been arrested and there's an indictment and you just hear the allegations, we read the allegations, barely haven't even read a page other than the fact a couple highlights, and hear high-powered assault weapons trafficking to other countries, rogue countries. It does read like a Hollywood script, a complete Hollywood script.
Jim Bell had some,
Well,
quickly, if you would.
I perhaps known Leland the longest, having met Leland over 30 years ago when he worked for a nonprofit group in San Jose, counseling refugees. He's a child psychologist, and I knew him as Dr. Yee then, and I never knew him in any other way than a person that would respond to issues related to children. He's the chairman of the Human Services Committee. And to see this thing happen is just a total flabbergasted to us and to me. I just can't. The chairman of the Human Services Committee of the State Senate, the one that worked on child psychologists, working with foster kids, you know, it's absolutely incredible. And it's a total shock, and I'm extremely sad about it for all the people of San Francisco and the state of California.
Thank you, Jim. We'll take one or two more questions.
And you have to take a question from me, come on. I noticed, that we all noticed, there are 3 senators now facing legal troubles and have serious allegations, and all happened under your watch.
That's true.
Is there something in your leadership in this body that, contributes to people believing that they can get away with this or can do this?
Well, that's a fair question. And the answer is as follows. These are 3 completely unrelated sets of allegations, I mean, factually and otherwise. One deals with the residency of a member, 2 deal with corruption, but very, very different factual situations and circumstances. I think my colleagues better answer about my leadership style. And you can say many things about me that are critical, but leading in anything other than an ethical way is not one of them. It's my stock and trade. It's what I do, and not afraid to say no, not afraid to take a tough stand, not afraid to always do the right thing. And this is shocking to me, but they're 3 individuals. I didn't elect them. I didn't select them. But it is what it is, and I'm not, cowering from the responsibility here. I mean, I'm here, and thankfully my colleagues are joining me here today for support. But every single time one of these has happened, I've come right out and told you exactly what it is I think, and most importantly, what I think about this institution. And again, whether it's printed or not, I'm going to insist that we get preschool done, that we get criminal justice reform done, that we get more advances in the environmental law done, that we get a water bond done, that we get a whole host of things. That's what we're going to do. And
That's what counts.
and that's what
And I
counts.
think we have to, I just want to underscore what the pro tem said. Look, we don't choose our colleagues. Everybody here is elected by some group of people out there in California. We work together on issues. We try to solve problems and face challenges. We don't know a whole lot usually about the personal issues confronting any particular person or what their private lives are like. So I'm looking to the pro tem to show the leadership that he's shown in the past to keep us moving forward on the issues that will define California's future, because we've been doing a good job.
I want to answer your question.
Yes, Mark.
One leads by example. And no one I have known, my 12 years under this dome, has exemplified greater integrity than Darrell Steinberg. And that is said with full respect for all the other leaders under whom I've served and worked. But Darrell in particular exemplifies integrity greater than anyone I've known.
Darrell, the, two of these,
Let me add something, and we'll get to you, Mr. Walter. We gotta be careful, we don't turn this into a love fest right now, but let me be clear.
I'm not saying goodbye, by the way. Got 8 months to go.
Let me say this, there's nothing that Darrell does that enables or creates the conditions for this type of behavior in this great institution. He has led this great institution with grace and with dignity. You have 3 individuals who have a dark cloud under them at this current moment. 2 over them. One of the cases is different with respect to Mr. Rod Wright. It's a different case altogether with regards to Leland Yee and Ron Kelly. But these are 3 individuals for 3 adults who are responsible at the end of the day for their own actions. They don't have a nanny to watch them 24/7. That is a question that's better suited for the constituents of these 3 respective senators who vote for them and send them up to Sacramento. 3 different types of cases, 3 different individuals who are responsible at the day for their own actions.
Darrell, in fact, the 2 of these cases are similar in the sense that they both involved FBI sting operations, as did the Shrimpgate investigation of the Capitol a quarter century or so ago, and as did other investigations the FBI was doing in other places. They also nailed the mayor of Charlotte and the state assemblyman in New York today, as a matter of fact. So it looks as if the FBI is looking very, very carefully at what politicians are doing, local politicians, state politicians. Are you giving any advice to your members about watching out or anything like that for people who come to them and ask to carry bills and that sort of thing? Because that's what was going on in both of these cases.
My message to my members, who, by the way, the ones sitting around here, the vast majority, do not need such reminding, because they embody it themselves, is that ethics and your reputation are what matter. And if the line is here, then and on this side is crossing the line, you ought to be way over here. And you ought to be able to always say no to your friends. You always need to separate the receipt of a campaign contribution from your vote and from your official action. And that's the way this body works. That's the way this body works. And yes, that's what I preach, but I don't have to preach it too loud to the vast majority of people who've been elected to this state senate by, almost 1 million people, because they act that way.
Senator,
Thank you. One or two.
Can I ask you one quick thing?
Yes, ma'am, you had a question in Spanish.
in Spanish, your reaction, su reacción al arresto.
Bueno, pues obviamente mis colegas del Senado, la bancada demócrata, estamos muy tristes por lo que ocurrió hoy día en San Francisco. Profundamente estamos muy tristes, ¿no? Particularmente los cargos que son muy alarmantes al respecto de el tráfico de armas de asalto estilo militar y pistolas y rifles de largo calibre. Pero sin embargo, vamos a marchar adelante, porque el enfoque, el objetivo, la meta del Senado, de nuestros colegas aquí afroamericanos, latinos, mujeres, hombres, asiáticos, anglosajones, judíos, católicos, todos unidos bajo una sola bancada demócrata, vamos a marchar hacia todo lo posible para promover políticas que van a favorecer la condición humana de todos nuestros constituyentes a lo largo y ancho del estado de California.
One more question, then we're going to break up.
Just for both of you,
Yeah.
I mean, you both emphasized that these men were all individuals and they're responsible for their own actions.
Yes.
But how do you possibly go forward and not have the cloud and the implications that they're living under affect what you're trying to do, especially when you're trying to put a water bond out on the ballot that needs voter approval?
Well, first of all, we are not ignorant of the fact that this, of course, affects the entire body. We're not naive, but on the other hand, it's our responsibility on behalf of our constituents and this institution we represent to make our voices heard and clear about what we think and what we feel and how this does not represent the way 37 other members act. In terms of the water bond, always was going to have to be a bipartisan agreement anyways, because we have plenty of diversity within the Democratic ranks in terms of how that bond should be done. So we'll be just fine. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.